Hello, everybody. So the Vultures are back today, and as you can probably tell, we are rocking a new aesthetic. I have uploaded a logo, a secondary logo, and overall just rehauled the team's look. So we've got this new cool looking Vulture, a nice little V over here for our secondary logo. The uniforms look pretty cool now too, so I'll quickly pull those up. And as you probably recall, oops, that's not the right thing. Today is draft day, so we're going to be starting this one off with the draft. I've also decided that the Vultures will be in some capacity returning after this season. I don't know how long it's going to be, but there will be some kind of Vultures thing going, so I'll keep you guys posted on that when I have updates. So we've got the draft here. You probably recall, or maybe not, I don't know if I did this on stream or not, but or on video rather, I traded for the first overall draft pick, the fifth overall draft pick, the 13th overall draft pick, the 10th looks like it was already ours, maybe, and the 26th as well, so that's kind of weird, but I guess we've got quite a few picks here. Now, first overall, there's really only one guy that we would draft, Ben Goodlow. So he throws 98 to 100 miles an hour with a nice four-pitch mix here. He's got above average control, really high stamina. He's 22, seems relatively low risk, and he's got an unbelievably good personality. So he is really the only option. Mike Christian will likely go second overall. He was a guy I considered for a little bit, but really there's just no question that it's got to be Goodlow. He is he is just ridiculously talented. Also, a nice little thing about him is he actually has a really low demand for a first overall pick, only $3.4 million. So allowing us to save that extra cash could be pretty big. All right, as expected, it looks like Christian has gone already. So let's take a look at who else was drafted. Mike Christian did indeed go second overall. Jose Llamas, who is probably a second baseman long term, goes third overall. And Vince Sandman, who I was looking at taking with our fifth overall pick rather, is also drafted before we will have the opportunity to pick again. I don't think there's any other position players that particularly stand out to me in the remaining draft pool, so I think we'll go and grab another pitcher here. I like Jay Riggenberg. He's pretty solid. A high Lenaya, something like that, is also a pretty good option for us here. Curtis Peabody is probably the one we're going to go with. He's very intelligent, has a nice four-pitch mix as well, really high control. He's young and has upside. Brad Simon's the other option I was considering here. We got fastball, slider, curveball, or not curveball, changeup, and splitter. He's pretty good. Above average movement, strong control, throws really hard. He does have lower loyalty and intelligence, which is ultimately what is going to make this decision. We will go with Curtis Peabody on the merits of the possibility that he will continue to improve. So between our next couple of picks, Mike Cavalier, who I was also looking at selecting, gets drafted. Mike Murray, one of the better hitters in the draft, gets selected. Matt Krotz, another one of the better hitters in the draft, gets selected. And Chase Dorman. So not one pitcher, which means we actually will go back and draft Brad Simon here with our next selection. Jay Riggenberg is still available. Ethan Beck, another pitcher I was looking at pretty strongly, still available. I think he's going to be our selection at this point in the draft. I like him pretty well. Riggenberg is now gone, which I expected. I like this pitcher pretty decently. Matt Athy, I think is how you'd pronounce this, is looking really good as well. 3 pitches, really strong slider and changeup, but I'm not liking the personality. John Bedreau, not a bad option either. Tom Canals, what a personality and what a hitting profile. I think we found our selection. This guy could really develop into a nice first baseman. And not to mention, he wanted a well below slot demand. All right, well, let's take a look at all batters, see if there's any other significant hitters that we could add here. That is not a hitter. So we got Bert Nolan. He looks pretty good. He could be a solid defensive outfielder with a good contact-based profile. And I don't see anyone else shortlisted here, so I think he will probably be our pickup with this selection. No one else is really too much of a quality hitter at this point in the draft, so We got John Abernathy, who I was looking at picking up. He's probably a little bit later in the draft, though. I don't think he warrants a selection this early. Billy Galvin, an interesting catcher. He's a leader. He's got pretty good ability and arm, so he could be a backup maybe. Sam Parker. Here's a good hitter. He's intelligent. He could probably play above average left field. He's got decent batting profile, particularly with the avoid Ks, which I like to see. I'm going to quickly scroll through, see if we've got any other. No, it's going to be this guy. I don't know if we have any starting pitchers left at this point in the draft that we were considering looking at, but we'll take another look at some of these guys. John Webb looks like he's pretty decent. Ooh, Jesus Valero rather. 6 pitches, fastball, curve or sinker rather, curveball, slider, changeup, splitter, forkball, intelligent and work ethic. That's what you like to see. Above average movement on the back of a really high ground ball percentage and really high control. I don't think there's any question that we're going with him here. Oh, right, that's that guy. Okay, so we've got Jason Durkee. I'm liking him. He's got high adaptability, a really good looking changeup, above average control. Athea is still available. I'm still not liking him too much. I don't like Antonio Garcia that much. I do like Mike's here. Jared Mike's, he's intelligent and he's got an overall decent potential. Jesse Morton's another interesting one. Tuma's also interesting, but I think it's going to be Durkee here. I didn't really see anyone that I thought added up quite to what we could potentially be getting from Durkee. It looks like a lot of these guys are still going to be available here. I do like Jared Mikes a lot. I think he's got good potential, so we'll go with him with this selection. And I think we'll go with Tuma here. Antonio Garcia is the only remaining pitcher in this caliber, so I think we will draft him. Oh, we can't meet his demand because he's impossible to sign. Huh, okay, well, I guess we're not going to go with him at that point. Not worth signing somebody who's impossible. I like this guy. He's a reliever, but he could be a really strong reliever. Looks like everyone I've got shortlisted going forwards is a reliever. So I think at this point we'll look at some really good fielders and then probably draft personalities, the best personalities in the draft. So Matt Boyd, just right off the bat, an 80 grade catcher ability guy. He's adaptable. He's got work ethic. He's an MJ Melendez type hitter. He's got really low avoid Ks, but probably above average everywhere else. And I don't see any other catchers I'm too high on at this point, so Adam Mayer. This guy could be a really strong shortstop. It looks like he's got outfield ratings too. This is at worst a really good super utility guy. I don't see any other 75 grade range players at this point. I do like Preston Fisher. We'll draft him. He could be a solid shortstop. Tom Phelps is interesting. He's probably a second baseman, but he could be a really strong second baseman defensively. I like Chris Schillishting. He's got a really good personality, also strong defense. We'll take him here. And now for our center fielders. Greg Hammond. Listed as a second baseman. He's a leader. He's got a decent batting profile. He could absolutely be a great center fielder. So we're going to take Bew Langford and then Hammond. All right, I think at this point we can start taking a look at some really good personalities and then drafting them. So we've only got 3 left at this point. Bob Bolton being a reliever is likely to last a while. Bob Stevens. This guy has a ridiculous personality. He could be a utility guy at the MLB level one day. I'm really liking this guy. Josh Forsythe is unfortunately a poor fielding catcher. He could probably be moved to first base without much difficulty, but he's unlikely to find a future as a catcher. He's got a really good personality too. We'll take this reliever next, and I think we'll auto draft from here. Oh man, this is actually a really solid reliever. This guy could absolutely crack the big leagues. And I think we pretty much selected everybody that we wanted, and we can auto draft from here and keep on simulating. We'll check the negotiate with draftees page just to make sure. So David Kelly, who the AI took with their first selection, is unsignable. We're not going to bother trying to sign him. We'll just keep going forwards. I think we've done everything we need to for the moment, and we can continue simulating. Next up will be the international amateur free agents who would hypothetically determine the future of this franchise. You can usually get some really high potential players in there. You see a lot of our players on the right side here with the leaderboards. Nobody in our division is even close. I mean, halfway, not even like a third of the way through the season, we're already 20 games up in the division. Definitely off to quite a streak right now. Gators giving us a trade proposal that looks like it's certainly absolutely disgusting, so this will be promptly rejected. What a surprise. We're first on the power rankings. All right, well, let's take a look at the international. Oh, we're not quite there yet. Okay, well, now we will try to get there. Chatterjee looks like he's fallen a little bit off. He was pretty much first in his batting average at one point, and he's dropping hard, but he is still easily first in WAR. Although Yisa, who we did not expect to be one of our top players, is pretty close behind him. Pedro Molina has been one of the league's premier pitchers. Ted Springer striking out more than anybody else by a fair margin. Chatterjee suffering a day-to-day injury is pretty unfortunate. Yeah, Ted Springer is just striking out everybody. 12.1 K per 9. Really strong changeup slider fastball combination. He is a fan favorite, and they got to be loving this. Issa has passed up Chatterjee in WAR on the back of a perfect 21-0 steal ratio. He's batting 300. His offense is quite strong. He's hitting for power. He's getting on base. And defensively, he is a Gold Glove caliber shortstop as expected. Chatterjee is still really strong himself. He is playing center field for us at the moment. He's doing everything well. He's hitting for average. He's getting on base. He is slugging, but he is, for some reason, still attempting to steal bases, which he just can't do with 30 grade stealing. So hopefully he stops trying to steal bases. I think I set his strategy to not, so hopefully we'll see that. Molina is second in strikeouts to Springer. The one problem with having so many leagues is that it really slows down your simulation speed. I definitely am not going to have so many international leagues in the remade Vultures because it takes like 10 seconds to simulate a single game, which is excessive, to put it lightly. It looks like we have reached the international amateur signing period, so we will take a look at the available players and hopefully pick up the best one. Hopefully we do have some real superstars available. Wow, Nawaf. Does that mean he struck out 17 consecutive batters? That's ridiculous. I mean, even for him, being one of the premier strikeout closers of all time. Not closers, because we've got Zoo, but relievers. Yeah, look at Zoo. He's given up runs. He has allowed a home run. Somehow he has allowed a home run with those 75 movement and control. I'm stunned that his ERA is as high as it is, but 18 strikeouts per nine, .3 walks per nine, .3 homers per nine. He has a loss somehow, which that's stunning to me. This guy is too good to be losing games, but Nawaf, probably the ultimate strikeout pitcher in the league. He was originally a starter coming in, and in the bullpen, he's absolutely dominated the competition. 20 strikeouts per nine. He's walking more guys than Zoo, which you'd expect, but he is just unstoppable right now. Yogesh, who's pretty much in the same boat, except he's striking out fewer batters. Allah, who is possibly our best all-round reliever, who is not Zoo. He's doing quite well. I mean, this bullpen is just... The bullpen has allowed a 125 ERA. Just to throw that one out there. Nobody... Well, okay, one guy has an ERA over 2, and it's Zafar, who has allowed a lot of home runs. Our defense is the best in the league. Everything you just see number one, number one, number one. The home runs are the only thing where we're really not at the top. Actually, it looks like we have not reached the international amateur signing period yet, so we're going to have to keep simulating here to get to that point. Victor Enriquez, who was almost not on the team to start the season, is the number 1 player in the league for RBIs. He's batting 306, 382, 590, and has absolutely earned his spot. He's hitting quite well. I'm sure his defense is quite top-notch as well. Ted Springer, man, Ted Springer has now become the highest WAR player, passing Pedro Molina, who's having himself quite a year as well. And Zoo, despite only pitching 30 innings, is third. That's just to give you an idea of just how ridiculous he is. Quang, I think, is really underperforming. I don't know why he isn't striking more guys out. I don't know why he's allowing so many home runs, but I'm sure he'll regress positively. And Minakashi, who's here to strike guys out, is doing just that. All right, anyways, on to the international amateurs. So it looks like this is a pretty pitcher-heavy class. We've got Primo Maitreya, who is the first guy to show up. He is fastball, sinker, changeup pitcher. That changeup looks extremely risky. I'm not liking it, but he is very high stamina as well. Pochoa is probably going to be our choice here. He's got work ethic, he's got stamina, he's got a lot of stuff. Solid control as well. Akil, with that personality, is extremely tempting as well. Leader, adaptability, work ethic, intelligence. He's not as good as the top guys, but that personality puts him over the top for me. We are going to try to sign him. He has the aptitude to become better than any of the others, and that's really why we're picking him up here. And what? I asked you to bring in an all-star. First of all, he thinks that D is not an all-star caliber player, despite the fact that he's on pace for 6 WAR. He considers D better than Chatterjee, well, I guess Cloudhari hasn't been doing well, Wajee, Yisa, etc. Like, what the heck is wrong with you, dude? How can you be that stupid? But man, I just realized how good Wajie has been for us. You cannot do anything but love on that performance. All right, the top 100 prospects list has been updated. Jerry Garcia is number one. I don't think he's number one, but man, he is dominating quadruple A so far. Sayar also having quite a year. Yang might be the next guy up. He could do really well. Good Lau, who was our first overall selection, is up here. I don't know why he's ranked above some of these guys, but okay. Ricky Soria, who is ranked above many of our prospects. I don't know why he is, but he is. Say Peng Pion, I think he's got to come up soon. He's just absolutely demolishing Quad A. Yeah, this is just I made a mistake, guys. It happens. I didn't know what was going to happen. I've never actually built a team or a league like this rather. We'll have to see what the All-Star team looks like. I have a feeling it's going to be ridiculous. Chatterjee has taken the lead in WAR again. He is second in OPS to Xavier Considine, who we traded away, so that might have been a mistake. We'll take a look at Considine in a minute here. So he is with the Chicago 5 Points. Yeah, I don't regret this, and he actually was not traded away. He was a first-round draft pick. He's not as good as most of our players, so I don't know why he's doing so well. But Chatterjee is just absolutely demolishing the league so far. Zoo is now second in WAR for our pitchers. This guy is just unstoppable. You want to talk about super relievers, you cannot get better than Zoo. He is probably the single most talented pitcher I've ever seen generated. And that's saying a lot. Issa keeping up with Chatterjee quite well. Not the same caliber of hitter, but certainly a much superior fielder. And the pitching leaderboards are just absolutely owned by our guys. Bakari now leading the team in ERA, rather. Ted Springer is running away with the strikeout title. And Ted Springer, look at the season he's having. I'm amazed that he is giving up as many runs as he is. How is he 6-7? Springer's getting absolutely gypped by our team. Chatterjee is starting to get a slight lead on Issa. Wajie is not far behind them now. He's having quite the year. Let's take a look at the All-Star game. I believe we're in the Frontier League. No, we gotta be in the Continental League. Or the Atlantic League. No, we gotta be in the Frontier League. Alright, so first base. Chris Curtis handily beats Victor Enriquez. I don't get that at all. Enriquez is having a hell of a year. He's an outstanding defensive first baseman. Why did he not win that vote? I mean, he wasn't even in top 3. Famu will be the second baseman, the starting second baseman at the All-Star game. He had a pretty good start to the year. Deeb will be the starting third baseman. He's having quite the year. Issa, unsurprisingly, will be the starting shortstop. Chatterjee will be the starting center fielder. Considine will beat out Wajie, which is not a surprise, but I'm sure Wajie will still make the All-Star game. Moo comes in third place among DHs. He is not having the year we expected him to have. Batting average and power is not where we had hoped it would be. Hopefully that'll come around in the second half. Littlewood is the top vote getter for relievers, which surprises me. Allah is second. Zoo is nowhere to be found on this leaderboard. I do not know how that happened. Ted Springer is not even the top pitching vote getters. Jute here. This guy received more votes than Ted Springer. At least this kind of makes sense. Galvez is a good pitcher. All right. As for the complete All-Star game, or though that's the All-Star prospects game, the All-Star game rosters. So we're gonna have Bakari make it. Springer will make it. Allah will make it. Littlewood will make it. Zoo will not make the All-Star game, which is absolute blasphemy. Enriquez will make it. Fumu will make it. D will make it. Yisa will make it. Chatterjee will make it. Waji will make it. And I just cannot believe that Zoo did not receive an all-star game. I mean, look at this dude. He's absolutely shredding the competition. How did he not make it to the all-star game? There's no justification for that. We're not going to be making any trades at the deadline. We've got the team we need. The Atlantic League will amazingly beat us in the All-Star game. Famu goes 0 for 2 with a walk. Let's see how the pitching did. Galvez gets beat pretty badly. Looks like Bakari is our only pitcher to actually pitch in the game. Really? See, this is why Zoo should have been appointed to the All-Star game. I don't know what the heck happened there. All right, let's see here. Enriquez, he went 1 for 1 with a walk as well. So Enriquez had a great day at the All-Star game. Issa must have been hit by pitch or something. No, he got pitch hit for in the second inning. He didn't even get the opportunity to get an at-bat. This manager is complete garbage. Waji goes 0 for 0 with a walk, so he had a walk in his only plate appearance. Chatterjee goes 0 for 2. But overall, all our All-Stars had quite the day. We'll see how our team does in the second half. We are up 30 games coming out of the All-Star break, 71-19 through 90 games. Yeah, Arthur writes in, definitely getting traded away, although he has come down to earth a little bit since we purchased him. Wow, Victor Medeiros hits for the cycle. That's huge. He's having quite a year. Enriquez is still first in RBIs. Famu and Yisa are second and third in steals. Ted Springer and Pedro Molina, the two highest strikeout pitchers in the league. And we continue to win games here. Interesting. Cloudhari with a 7-game extra base hit streak. So it looks like he's coming around here. Taking a quick look at the team, it looks like Chatterjee has pulled in front of Yisa. And it's certainly because he just keeps hitting. He's getting on base, he's hitting for average, and he's hitting for power. So we'll have to see if he can keep stepping up. Although Issa does appear to be hitting for a higher average. His OPS plus is in about the same range, so it's interesting. We'll have to watch this develop over the course of the season, see who ends up winning MVP. I really hope it's not Considine. That would be a little bit awkward if we had the best talent in the world and some rando happens to come out in front and win MVP, but yeah, we'll see. Chatterjee's starting to catch him in OPS though, which is that's good. We just lost our 20th game, and it looks like the St. Louis Gateway are going to be the team to worry about in the playoffs. They are in the AL West with a 66% winning percentage, I believe. They're doing quite well over there. We just crossed the 800 threshold again in winning percentage. And then we just crossed it the other way, going down under 800. Man, Chatterjee has pulled well ahead at this point. He is just continuing to rake. And we'll have to see if he can keep this up. Issa still putting up some really good numbers. Fumu is now our third best offensive player. Cloud Hari is stepping it up a little bit. That's good. Waji is, yeah, he's doing about what we want him to. Mu is still underperforming, but he's starting to catch up as well. Chavez is just not playing as well as we had hoped. So ideally we see that turn around, but Zoo just continuing to dominate out of relief. Now we have a new batting title leader. It's Zimajewski, I believe. Aaron Paris has recovered from his injury, so he was one of our bigger trade acquisitions. He's been out all year. He is the reason Famu had a place on this team to start the season, and Famu, who is one of our best hitters at the moment, will be demoted to AAA. We're gonna have to remove somebody from the 40-man roster here. I don't like Steve Faulkner on the 40-man, so we're gonna DFA him and recall Aaron Paris. And hopefully Faulkner makes it through waivers. We'll have to see. But Paris is going to be a big part of this lineup going forwards, no doubt about that. Now, versus left, he is really good, so we definitely want to move him up in this lineup. So I will. No, I think he'll probably bat behind Issa, no, above Issa and above Waji, so he'll be fifth versus left. Versus right, he's also quite good, but I don't see him being better than any of the guys above him, so we'll leave him where he is currently in the lineup and continue simulating. Oh, I just realized we've probably signed our international amateur free agent by now. So he is about $4 million. That does leave us $1 million in cap space to sign more players. So we'll take another look and see if there's anybody cheap that we could conceivably pick up to be a nice addition to our team. So there is one guy left. He would be lucky to be a big league reliever, and his bonus demand is already quite high. So let's just move on and forget that that guy existed. I have no interest in him, especially not at that price. Issa has joined Enriquez on the RBI leaderboards. Interesting. A Portland pitcher has made it onto the win leaderboards, which is surprising to me. Chatterjee wins batter of the month. I'm surprised it took him so long to reach that level. It looks like his avoid Ks, I think, yeah, his contact, that's what it was. So his contact and his avoid Ks have both increased, and Chatterjee just keeps getting better. Wrightson keeps going down. That's not what we wanted to see. Aaron Paris, we can afford him losing speed, and we like to see that contact up. We do like to see that. Geyer, who was one of our top players coming into the season, looks pretty good. Harrington, who was our elite defensive center fielder that never even made the roster. Goodlow, who was our first round draft pick, going up. Manaves, I believe he was a top draft pick, looks pretty disappointing at this point. But yeah, that's not bad, not bad. Overall, I think we could be happy with that. We got some key increases from some key players, so that's pretty much the best you can hope for on a scouting report update. Ted Springer is just running away with the strikeout lead. Nobody even close to him. The guy that we did not expect to sign did not sign with us. Ted Springer still striking out 12 batters per nine. I am amazed he has managed to allow as many runs as he has. He should really not be allowing so many. Yisa is catching up to Chatterjee in WAR again. That is surprising. D has now claimed that fourth spot on our WAR leaderboards. He's been putting up a quite outstanding on base percentage season, hitting for some gap power too, although the home run power, as expected, not quite there at the levels that you want to see, but it's still a good year. Faulkner has cleared waivers, which is good. We will be able to keep him inside of our organization, so we'll just demote him to Quad A, see how he does there. Not that we're likely to call him up at all, but nonetheless. And Ted Springer, the guy that has been the ace of this staff, will suffer a pretty bad injury. He'll be out for a couple of weeks. That's really the first major one we've had. Our trainer has done a great job. Josh Hughes is our utility outfielder right now. I'm not super thrilled about him. Chris Cohen can definitely be DFA'd at this point. We do not need to have him on the 40-man roster. So to take Springer's place, we have Jerry Garcia, a Seidel Sayar, Farouk Kyrie, I think is how that would be pronounced. Who else do we have here? Arthur Wrightson, who is probably not my favorite choice at this point. Daniel Malinog. Wow, I'm really not doing great today with the pronunciations. And Ryan Simpson. I think of all these guys, I'm not a fan of three-pitch pitchers, but Sayar is probably the best. Now, Jerry Garcia is older, and he also has a dominant slider changeup combination with a four-pitch mix. He's got a lot of movement. I think we're going to give Jerry Garcia a go in our rotation and see how he does. Reassess the situation later. A shame that Springer got hurt. He was definitely one of our better starting pitchers. Waji now on the RBI leaderboard, so we own all three spots there. Issa is catching Enriquez. Enriquez is now the MLB leader in home runs. An impressive feat. And then Considine immediately passes him up. Cohen will make it through waivers, which is good news. That means we will be able to keep him inside our organization. We will pull him off waivers. And let's check out Enriquez and the monster season he's having. I mean, he's on pace for almost 50 home runs with a lot of doubles and triples. He's hitting for average. He's getting on base. You cannot be unhappy about that year at all. Definitely the right move to keep him on the roster. Waji is really hitting where we want to see him be. And Chatterjee seems to have picked up the power a little bit. He's on pace for almost 40 home runs. Bakari is now the league leader in wins. Manlina is catching Springer in strikeouts. He might be the leader by the time we get Springer off the injured list. Oh, wow. A diamond on base streak. We'll have to see who that was and how they did it. I'm guessing D because he really shot up the WAR leaderboards with his on-base skills. Could also be Aaron Paris. Obviously, Chatterjee is a possibility, although he hasn't been quite as dominant lately. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who managed to put that together. Could even be Enriquez. He's been hitting really well lately. We have clinched our division with a 123 record, an 813 winning percentage, almost 50 games up on the second place Aztecs and Buccaneers. Chatterjee and Waji are two of the highest OPSs in the league. Issa is now #1 in WAR. He has passed up Chatterjee officially. A hugely impressive feat. Quang is now second in ERA, which is where we expected him to be. I mean, now he's first. He was definitely looking like one of our better pitchers last time we checked up on him. And I'm not at all surprised to see him on top of that leaderboards at this point. What a performance by our team to go on such a hugely impressive run. And we just keep winning. All three spots on the batter war leaderboards now occupied by Vultures. Waji, Chatterjee, and Issa. Two of the top three OPSs. Enriquez is on the home run leaderboards, although he has kind of gone a little bit cold with the power lately. We might be at roster expansion by this point. We're going to have to see. And it was indeed D who put on his on-base streak. A 65 game on-base streak where D, wow, that is something. Reaching base in 65 consecutive games. Rosters have expanded. Let's take a look at our players. Wow, Badru improving. One of our top relievers there. Francis Davies, an interesting minor league reliever. Keith Paul, probably not really on our radar at this point. It looks like a lot of these updates are for players we're not too worried about, with the exception of CJ Taylor, who is probably our top second base prospect. All right, and let's take a look at where the team stands. Issa edging out Chatterjee in WAR right now. He's at a 140 OPS plus, which almost certainly means the rest is coming from his fielding. Gold Glove caliber defense at shortstop. Chatterjee at a 178 OPS plus is likely to win the MVP despite his lower WAR total. We got Waji at 5.8. He's really reaching base at the rates we'd hoped. He's hitting for power too. He's hitting for average. There's nothing he can't do right now. Kadhari having a great year. Enriquez having a great year. Aaron Paris has not hit a home run since his return, but has been getting on base at the rates that we had hoped to see from him. So, yeah, overall, the team's doing really well. Jerry Garcia performing excellently after his call-up. You cannot be unhappy about that at all. Quang just absolutely hitting every expectation we had for him. Minakashi, my bad, is kind of underperforming. But it looks like it's partially because he's not getting into as many games, but four of his last 5 outings, he got absolutely shelled. 4 home runs, 1 home run, 1 home run, 2 home run. 5 earned, 3 earned, 4 earned, 5 earned. That's a couple of rough games for sure. Springer is the league leader in, or the team leader in pitching WAR, followed closely by Bakari and Zoo. And what else is there to say about this guy? He's thrown 50 innings and has 4 WAR. He's allowed 1 home run all year to only 3 walks and 110 strikeouts. Good for more than 2 strikeouts an inning. Somehow he's managed to lose a game, but you cannot ask for a more dominant reliever than Zoo. But Yogesh keeping pace. He's got a sub 100 ERA himself. He's only allowed a home run this year, only 7 walks to 74 strikeouts. Not quite as dominant on the strikeout end, but very close overall. Nawaf has an even lower ERA than Zoo. He is just mowing down the competition. He too has allowed only 1 home run this year and only 9 walks to 124 strikeouts. So he's actually striking out even more guys. Milson has yet to allow a run in 37 innings pitched. That's an impressive feat. And this bullpen is just absolute shutdown. Zafar has the highest ERA of everybody on the staff at 206. Aside from Badrew and Littlewood, nobody else has a. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys with basically a sub 100 ERA. That's insane. All right, now as for roster call ups, let's take a look at our top relievers in the minors. So we've got Goroleski, who is a strikeout artist, like some of our guys in the majors. Oscar Herrera, who I'm thinking could be our top choice here. We could call up Sayar. He could be a long reliever, maybe. I'm thinking Peon has got to come up. He is just too good a hitter to keep in the minors. Look at this. Look at this slash line in the minor leagues. Not to mention he's a good base stealer. I'm not entirely sure who else to call up. So I think we will call up Oscar Herrera and say Peng Pion. First, we're going to have to clear a spot. So Zinman. Oh, he's good. He probably get claimed if we DFA him. So how about Benjamin? George Benjamin can get DFA'd, and I have a feeling he will clear waivers successfully, so we'll have to watch. Hope he does. And Pion is coming up. He will back up first base. Is he splitty? He's pretty splitty, but I still don't want to put him in a platoon role. I just wanted to back positions up. I guess he could back up second base. Lavigna is a really good fielder at second, so I don't really want to have him do that. He can definitely back up DH. He can back up left field. I mean, he is just a super, super awesome hitter. So we're going to copy this depth chart and paste it VL because Pion absolutely needs to get all the opportunities he possibly can. As for the bullpen, Oscar Herrera, we're going to stick him into long relief. He's a solid reliever, even on our team, but we've got all the other roles that we need to have filled, and that's really all there is to it. So we'll simulate until the playoffs and see how it goes. George Benjamin was indeed claimed by a lot of teams, so unfortunately he will not remain on our roster. We'll just have to keep on going without him, and that's alright. Sometimes these things happen. Up to 110 wins with a couple of weeks to play still, I believe. This team is definitely on par with some of my better teams I've ever built. Molina has almost caught Springer in strikeouts. We are almost 50 games up on the next best team in the division. And Enriquez, what do you know? He puts up a 52 game on base streak of his own. Zoo shuts down the opposition for 26 consecutive games. And Pion, as soon as we call him up, goes down with a 5-week injury. So that's a little bit disappointing. I mean, he got 3 hits and 4 at bats. So not too bad at all, but still sad. We're going to have Springer back in 3 days. So I'm just going to leave that roster spot open. Enriquez starting to flex his power muscles a little bit more, up to 39 home runs. Ted Springer coming off the injured list to rejoin our rotation. He will send Garcia to the bullpen, who had a dominant stretch in the rotation. I mean, look at this. Look at this. He had a, what, 155 ERA in 7 starts. He went deep into his games. Not really. He averaged about 6 innings a start. That's not bad, though. He struck out 13 per 9, only allowed .5 home runs per 9. Amazing performance. So that means we're going to send Oscar Herrera to middle relief with a long relief second role. Garcia could be an emergency starting pitcher, although I almost never use that role because it almost never needs using. Oh, Zhu allowed a 2-run home run. That's surprising. We are over 50 games up on the second place Buccaneers now. Absolutely running away with the division. You can be sure nobody else from our division is going to make the playoffs. And Zhu shuts down the opposition for 18 consecutive games. And Bakari is going to have us increase our market size. At least we hope. So that's great news for the team. Chatterjee is starting to gain a significant lead above Yisa and War once again. Quang is just shutting the opposition down at this point, down to a 2.79 ERA, which is well below JJ Galvez's second place 3.16. Chatterjee once again suffering a day-to-day injury. Only for 3 days, though, and man, is he hitting right now. Enriquez is at 44 home runs. He's unlikely to hit 50, very unlikely to hit 50, but still having a crazy good year. Ted Springer and Pedro Molina having outstanding years as well. Issa definitely the surprise of the season, though. He's having a crazy good year. And Waji in third place in batter war, right where you'd expect him to be with that dominant stuff. Milson still has yet to allow a run this year. Just going to point that out. Milson might legitimately go the entire year without allowing a run. He's not the guy I would have pegged to do it, but he's doing it. Yeah, Milson has still not allowed a run. He's pitched 40 innings and has not allowed a single run yet. I would have guessed Zoo, if anyone, would be the one to pull that off, but I guess Milson's just going on a ridiculous hot streak. Waji back on the OPS leaderboards. Chatterjee might catch Considine. Enriquez running away with RBIs. He went on a little bit of a hot streak with the power too there, and now leads the league in home runs. So Enriquez, who was almost not on our opening day roster after the discovery of so many ridiculous international players, including the currently injured guy that I cannot remember the name of. He goes on to lead the league in home runs. Yeah, Peon, look at this guy. This is a beautiful hitter that would absolutely be an ideal option for me at first base. But Enriquez just crushes the league and holds him off to maintain his roster spot at 1,000 OPS. Great on base skills, great power, great fielding, even. Great player to have. And Chatterjee will win the batter war title, leading all of baseball in war. Thank goodness he actually stopped stealing. That was not a great period in his life. He should never have attempted to steal so much. But yeah, Aaron Paris having quite a great return from the injured list. Issa definitely a huge year for him. Quang ending with over 5 WAR despite pitching relatively small amounts. I mean, this team just blows your mind, even though you expected it to blow your mind. They just keep doing it. Okay, it looks like the year's not actually over, but I'd be pretty surprised if Chatterjee gets beaten in the WAR title. Yeah, he's up to 8.8. Enriquez has his 48th home run. No one's catching him unless Considine has like a 3-homer game on the last day of the season, which would be pretty annoying. Ted Springer just barely staving off Pedro Molina for the strikeout lead. Bakari seems to have the win title locked up, and Quang almost certainly has the ERA title locked up, although once again, Springer breathing down his neck a little bit. If it weren't for his injury, Springer might have had a legitimate shot at a Triple Crown. But instead, some of his teammates are looking the opportunity to beat him out in some categories. Enriquez may actually hit 50. Oh, no, it looks like the year's over. Yeah, Chatterjee with 9 WAR, though. Issa went 2020. Looks like Cloud Hari went 2020 too. Yeah, what do you know? Except he also got caught stealing 21 times, so that's not exactly impressive on his end. But Chatterjee with 9 WAR, and he will only lead the league in WAR and runs, surprisingly. Issa with an outstanding season. Enriquez will finish third in WAR very appropriately. Definitely the slugging powerhouse of the team. What a year by our pitching staff, though. And Eric Millison will go nearly 40 innings without allowing a single run the entire season. That's just ridiculous. All right, let's see how these playoffs go. Oh, right. We need to not have 28 guys on our playoff roster. Okay, well, that's going to be Jerry Garcia. Okay, can I not just remove them from the playoff roster? All right, well, I guess he's going down to AAA again. And I'm thinking Oscar Herrera. He was good, but we've got a playoff roster here, and we're trying to put out our best possible guys. So as the top seed, we are the only team to have a bye in the first round. Everyone else will play a wild card round. Peng Pion will suffer a setback from his injury, unfortunately, and not return for the playoffs. Not that he would have been on our playoff roster anyway, but still disappointing. And remember, the wild card is a best of 3 series in this world. The Metropolitans and Appalachians will be the first teams to clinch, along with the Senators, actually. We'll play the Cowboys in the division series. We take game 1, game 2, and can we sweep the Cowboys out of the division series? We will sweep the Cowboys out of the division series. We will play game 7 of the World, well, not game 7 of the World Series, but the first opportunity we have to clinch a World Series title, we will simulate that game. Or if we are on the brink of elimination on the World Series, we will play there. Will the Metropolitans or Seagulls be our opponents in the championship series? The Seagulls are probably the tougher team. They had a lot of good performances throughout the season. And Seagulls will indeed be our opponent in the championship series. So that'll put us at a slight disadvantage. Pyong will be able to come off the IL at this point, but I'm still just going to stick him into the minors. I don't really see a reason to put him on the roster at this point. I think we probably already are running the best 26 guys available. And we will win game 1 against the Seagulls. Game 2 as well. Please don't exit autoplay. That almost always means something bad. Okay, whatever. Justin Bristol cannot be on the injured list. Yeah, that's a real big concern when we're in the playoffs. The St. Louis Gateway are also the toughest team in the Atlantic League. So it looks like we swept our way into the World Series against the Seagulls. Yeah, we won 4 straight. The St. Louis Gateway are probably going to be our opponent in the World Series. They are a very difficult team to beat for both the Senators and us. Yeah, they're up 3-1. The odds that the Senators come back are not good. Oh, and the Senators actually managed to take another game from the Gateway. They have actually had to go to an elimination game in every single series that they've been in, but the Gateway will indeed be our opponent in the World Series. So we're just gonna simulate one day at a time until we get to an elimination game for one team or another. So we win 8-4 game one of the World Series. We win 10-3 in game two. All right, that's good. So in front of our home crowd, we kick the Gateway's butt, and we're up 2-0 in the series. We're going into St. Louis now. And it looks like we're at the end of the month, so the game is auto-saving. All right. We win 4-2 against the Gateway in our first game in St. Louis and up 3-0 in the series. We will play them here, managing this game manually. So it looks like our pitcher is Quang. Oh, yeah. This is the guy you want up right now for your team. He is absolutely ridiculous. Our entire team is good to go stamina-wise. Nawaf is probably unavailable out of the bullpen, but we can count on everyone else, including Zoo. He's at 88%. That's probably fine, and I think we're good to go on this game. So here we are. We got D leading off for us in this one. 0-1. That's cracked over to the left side of the infield, and D will be thrown out. Chatterjee will not be such an easy player to retire. He absolutely mashes right-handed pitching. 1-0 count. That's popped up to the left side of the infield, and Chatterjee will be retired by Luis Lopez. Not really the type of pitcher you'd expect to dominate our offense for too long, so his luck is unlikely to last. 0-2, and Cloudhari will slice a single into center. So we have our first base runner. Waji is up. He's a very tough player to retire, but will unfortunately foul out the worst possible way to be retired. All right, Quang is ready to go here. 1-1 pitch. And their leadoff batter will fly out to center field. That one should be no problem for Chatterjee. Rioas, 0-2 count. That's a grounder to Issa, and because he's so good, he has no problems at all making that play. Issa is definitely a quality fielder. 1-1 count to Zapata here. That's up the middle, and Issa with a rangy play will get him at first base. Oh no. And Quang is out. He is injured. That's nightmare scenario stuff right there. Now, fortunately, because we were still running a 5-man rotation, because I forgot to adjust it, we do have one starting pitcher not tired today, and that is Minakashi. So we are going to have to bring him in, and he will hopefully be able to give us some length and some quality innings. 0-2 count, but that is ripped into right field for a single from Moo. Enriquez is up. 1-1 count. High fly ball to center field will be an out, unfortunately. And one down, we've got Aaron Paris on the plate. Full count. Sliced it up to the second baseman and an out. Chavez, not known for his hitting. 0-2 count. He's probably, oh, what do you know? He actually put the ball in play. But it will still be a fly out to right field, and it will end the inning. All right, Minakashi is ready to come in. We are going to insert him into the lineup, and he will be a follower because we want to have his stamina as a starting pitcher. 1-2 count here from Minakashi to his first batter. And there's a strikeout. That is exactly what you want to see. 1-0 count to John Rojas. Rosas, not Rojas. That's ripped into deep left center field, and it will be a home run. The St. Louis Gateway will score the first run of the game. And Minakashi is showing us why he was not the starting pitcher today. Full count to Kevin Cooper. He will strike out. Ruben Anaya will be the last man for the inning, hopefully. 1-2 count from Minakashi. And he strikes him out. All right, Issa leading off the inning. He's not such a dangerous batter v right, but he will rip that one down the left field line. That's going to be extra bases for our shortstop rather. He's into second with an easy stand-up double. And Ruben Anaya, while a decent catcher no, he's not really a decent catcher, but we can run on him, no problem with Issa. That one will rip foul by D. Issa takes out for third base, and he slides in head first, safe with a steal. D, 2-2. Grounder to shortstop with the infield in. Issa will not be able to score. Chatterjee is up. 2-2. A weak grounder, and once again, Issa unable to score. Cloudhari now is the last opportunity we have to get that run in. A fly ball to right field, and our inning is killed without a run score. That is a huge disappointment that we had the top of the order and were unable to drive in our speedy shortstop with no outs. First ball will be put in play by Dick Stein. Grounder to Enriquez at first, and he retires him, no problem. Raul Gonzalez, 0-1 count. That's rocketed into right center field, and it will be extra bases. Chatterjee getting there as quickly as he can, but he can't quite get him at second base. Esquilin, 1-0 count. Fly ball to center field. I doubt that the batter will be able to advance. Oh, and he will. Amazingly, Esquilin manages to get to third base on that play. So now we'd better hope that we can prevent Riojas from getting a hit. 1-1. Fly ball should be no problem for Enriquez out there. And the inning is over. The threat retired. Waji will lead off the inning. 2-2 count. We have yet to draw a walk this game, by the way. I'm just going to point that out. This is a good control pitcher, but still a surprise to me. And Waji will have a leadoff single for the batter. 1-0. Mu puts the ball in play. Little grounder to the pitcher, and Waji, the lead runner, will be thrown out. Enriquez up now. 0-1 count. Rocketed down the left field line. That's going to be extra bases. Enriquez is into second, and we'll have runners at second and third for Aaron Paris. Full count. He draws a walk. Bases loaded for Victor Chavez. And this is where not having a good batter on your bench hurts you. Because Chavez is not a good hitter. 2-2 count, and he strikes out swinging. Issa is up. Everything stands in him so far to score a run. And his magic will not last. A line out to center field. And we will not score in the inning despite loading the bases. Full count here to Zapata. He will draw a leadoff walk. Caminera, first ball in play. Grounded to second baseman, and Aaron Paris makes an errant throw. I believe that was on Aaron Paris. So we now have two base runners. 1-2 count. This is the guy that homered this last time, but instead he grounds into a double play, and the inning looks a lot easier for Minakashi from that standpoint. 2-1 to Kevin Cooper. Grounder to third base, and Mu throws him out to get us out of the inning. Or that's D, not Mu. D will lead off the inning. 1-2 count. Grounder to the shortstop. That's an easy play for them. Chatterjee up. 2-2. He has yet to record a hit or reach base, but that one is rocketed into left center field, and Chatterjee will have extra bases. He's coming into second, and he will be in there standing up. Cloudhari up at this point. 1-1 count. Grounder to the third baseman. Chatterjee will not be able to advance. It is in Waji now that we place our trust. And that is a deep fly ball to right field. It's going to be well out of here. And Waji slams a no-doubter to give us the lead. Moo is up, 2-2. Grounded to third base, and the inning is over, but not before we finally tack on a few runs. Anaya will be the batter. 1-2 count, and he is struck out. Corey Dickstein, will he walk? He will not, but he will single to Chatterjee in center. Raul Gonzalez, not the most dangerous batter in this lineup. 3-1 count. That's rocketed to left field. And an outstanding play by Cloud Hari, who is an absolute beast in left field. Honestly, he should probably be our center field, and Cloud Hari, or Chatterjee rather, should be our left fielder with their range numbers. But I'm sure Cloud Hari is in contention for a Gold Glove this year after 11.4 zone runs. Man, what a year. Chavez will not be able to throw out Dickstein as he steals third base. 1-1 count to Skillen. Ground ball past Isa. Cloud Hari, while a great fielder in left, does not have a particularly strong arm, and as Skillen knocks in the tying run. I'm not very happy about Minakashi's performance so far. Isa, with a rangy play, will throw out the lead runner at second base. I don't know what to do at this point. I do not really trust Minakashi to keep this game close. He's only at 61 pitches, though. But we have the meat of the lineup coming up. I don't know. Do we bring in Yogesh at this point in the game? We kind of want to seal this one. I definitely think at least, yeah, let's bring in Allah. Let's bring in Allah. Enriquez is up. Unless we tack on a big lead this inning, we are bringing in Allah. Full count. Grounder to first base, and it's not looking good for that big lead as Enriquez grounds out. Full count to Aaron Paris here. That one's ripped into left field for a single. And that will force their starter out of the game. 2-2 count to Chavez. He strikes out again. Isa is up. 1-2. He strikes out as well. So at this point, we're going to bring in the dominant reliever, Abdul Tawab bin Allah. Absolutely nasty versus right and very strong versus left. He will unfortunately be facing a lefty to start his game off here in Lorenzo Zapata. 0-2 count here, though. Will Allah strike him out to get this one started? And he does. Another lefty here, even more dangerous than Kamara. First ball will be in play. But it is a weak fly ball to the left side, and D will have it. No problem. Rosas now up. He is a power-hitting righty. That's not much danger at all here as he strikes out on a full count. D will lead the inning off. 1-2 count from the pitcher Jesus Torres, who is a very strong strikeout artist. But it is grounded between the first and second baseman, and D has a leadoff single. Chatterjee, always a threat up here. 1-2 count. Fly ball to center field should be an easy play out there, and that will be the first out. Cloud Hari now. Grounder to the shortstop. This should be, oh, not a double play. Looks like D's speed was too much for them there as he reaches second. Waji will be our last opportunity here. They bring in a lefty to face him. 0-1 count. Little foul out, which is disappointing. And the game will remain tied. Allah looking to keep it that way in the bottom of the seventh. First ball in play, and they've got a leadoff single. Kevin Cooper represents the go-ahead run at first base. Ruben Anaya, who is, I believe, their catcher, he is not a good batter. It still manages to send one into right center field for extra bases. Waji hurries it in to prevent the run from scoring, but we are not in good territory here with Kreft up. He is very strikeout prone, so I am not going to intentionally walk him here. And we're just going to have to trust Allah to get us out of this one. 1-2 count. Kreft puts it in play, deep right center field, And Allah allows a 3-run home run. That's unbelievable. And he struggles even more before we get out of the inning. That's really annoying. All right, we're bringing in Badrew. If Allah couldn't handle this lineup, Badrew will have to. And we'd better hope our offense can pull some stuff together here. Moo will fly out to start the inning. Our offense has just not been able to string stuff together. We've had base runners, but we haven't been able to capitalize. Enriquez, he grounds out. Aaron Paris will be the last man standing in the inning. 1-1 count. And a grounder to second base will retire him. I can't believe Allah was so bad in that inning. Such a dominant reliever, and he allows 3 runs in 1 inning on a home run. Camarena will have to face a better reliever in Badrew. He is better than Allah, even stronger in the control. And Badrew comes in and immediately allows a walk, another home run. I'm not watching the rest of this game. I can't believe our bullpen just blew that so badly. All right, well, I'm not going to watch the rest of the series. We're going to win. The Gateway would have to reverse sweep us, and that's not going to happen. But I don't want to simulate another game. This episode has already gone on for quite a while. The Gateway take another game, though, and we will win Game 6. Oh, we got the Moneyball achievement. That's pretty funny due to our low payroll. Pass with flying colors, Moneyball, fantastic score, champions, owner goal complete, etc., etc. And what a season score. Not really a surprise. All right, well, let's do awards really quickly. I'm not going to vote, so we'll just simulate ahead and see who wins what, and then we're going to call this series. A successful 1-year run for the Phoenix Vultures, scooping up all the best talent internationally to build an insane team, and it absolutely played like it. We swept our way through the Division Series and Championship Series into the World Series, won there against a very good team, had outstanding performances across the board, an unbelievable bullpen in particular. I think if anything was a little bit kind of disappointing, it would be the starting rotation. I will kind of pin that on the fact that I didn't have ideal fielders in center field or third base, or really second base, which is kind of going to allow cause us to allow more runs than you'd like to see. But still, what a crazy season. So looks like we have one manager of the year. So the Atlantic League Rookie of the Year will be Camarena, who, yeah, he looked like he had an outstanding season. Wait, where is the Frontier League Rookie of the Year? That's the Europe League. That's not our league. SL1. That's not our league either. Where's the Frontier League Rookie of the Year? I cannot find it. Huh, that's weird. Alright, well, here we go. Frontier League Manager of the Year was me. That's not a surprise with the insane season we had. That's not really the award we're interested in, though. Where the heck were our awards? No gold gloves, no silver sluggers? What the heck? Okay, that was really weird. But, yeah, okay. So, obviously, Zoo, Reliever of the Year, he would absolutely be deserving of that award. I think, honestly, Quang does not win Pitcher of the Year because he only threw 175 innings. I think that's going to go to Ted Springer, who was just ridiculous. He led the league in a ton of statistical categories. Obviously, MVP, I would personally give it to Issa, but Chatterjee would win it in this league. And our Gold Glovers would probably be Cloud Hari and Issa only, maybe Victor Chavez as well. But yeah, our team was not too strong defensively. I'm pretty sure just about everybody would have won their Silver Slugger. Maybe not Aaron Paris at second base, obviously, because he was out for most of the year. But yeah. Anyways, I think this was a pretty fun series. I will definitely have the Vultures return in some capacity, so I will be working on that. And thank you guys for enjoying this one with me. I'll see you guys at some point in the future.